Continuing my talk, my discussion on the Pauline prayer, Paul, after he encapsulates this reality of being in Christ, this sphere, this address that we live in. We have this natural place we live. Right now, Nancy and I don't have an address. We're in between addresses, but here in America, but in Christ we have another address, another reality that we live in. And Paul talks about these amazing things about the blessings, the redemption, the forgiveness, the inheritance. I mean, all these things that is in Christ that God has put us into. He begins to pray because we in our natural mind and understanding will never know what this is. We can't figure it out. We have to have the Spirit reveal that to us. That's why he prays that the Spirit would enlighten your hearts that you might know. And if you don't know, you're not going to go. You're not going to go on with God. You're not going to keep pressing in when things are pressing against you. And so knowing is motivation. Knowing is actually a sort of a settling that we're going to keep going on because we know, because it is a different reality than our circumstances, because our circumstances can either be booing or applauding. But he says that you might know what is the hope of your calling, and we talked about this a couple of times ago. But God is always calling you. You might not know the specifics of your call, but God is always calling you into a greater relationship with Him, and your circumstances actually will propel you toward that if you embrace life and be thankful for life and see all life as a gift. That you can know this. But then he says also, what is the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints? God has placed in you what he's going to get out of his efforts. And that's what his inheritance is. What did God get out of his efforts? What did Jesus get out of all of his efforts? Jesus just didn't come to save a wretch like you. He came for something for himself. And so he came to present something to his Father. And what is that? And one, I think, is for sure it's you shined up. It's you standing in all your glory, just who you are, your personality, just on steroids. God is wanting to shine the spotlight on you as you shine the spotlight on Him. He's created you unique of all humanity. Just you and your circumstances too are uniquely designed to bring you out of the shadows and into His glorious light. But not just that. If He just came to save individuals, I think he'd be frustrated, because He came to create in this world what the Father and the Son and the Spirit have in heaven. He came to create these wonderful relationships that are delightful. It says that in John 1 that the Word was with God, and this withness it talks about a collaborative relationship. It talks about this closeness. It talks about this appreciation, this working together. It talks about a oneness with diversity, and right now lots being talked about in America about diversity and division, and that's always the devil. God's always talking about how do I get the cedar tree and the myrtle tree and the oak tree and the willow tree to all be together and glorify me, because that's how God's glorified when we have these different sort of folks, whether it's husband and wife and kids, or whether it's you and your church with people you don't especially sync with. How does God bring these sort of things together so that we flow together, that we're one together? And that's what God has placed in you. And we're going to talk about next time about the power that is exerted toward us, because there has to be, because we have so many preferences and prejudices and way we do things, and we shut down, and we stand up against. And God needs to break down things in us, but we need to know that His inheritance is a community of people that love each other. And I just want to end with this verse, which I was thinking about this week. It says, and it really is apropos for today, because lawlessness shall abound, the love of many will grow cold. And right now, we see in America lawlessness growing. People just doing their own thing, and the tendency is for us to shut down. But we need to really take this to heart and really press in to love each other and open ourselves up to the possibility of hurt, right? We need to do that because this is what Jesus came for. Till next time.